wasn't here for chapter 2, but I assume you spent time thinking about how this wall, which has separated them, Jew and Gentile, so firmly from one another, has been broken down in Jesus, that they are now fellow heirs. They share the same inheritance. In Galatians, he says, if you are Christ's, then you are Abram's offspring, heirs according to the promise. And notice, and you are heirs of this promise as members of the body. What body? Christ's body. You see, it's very dangerous that we read this material incorrectly, that we cherish the idea, and it's a wrong idea, that what Paul is describing here is a kind of Jew-Gentile merger. That the way this is going to work is by Gentile people trying to be less Gentile and Jewish people trying to be less Jewish. But nothing could be further from the truth. Because what he's actually describing is something entirely new. Ephesians 2 and 15, is it there? That by abolishing the law of the commandments expressed in the ordinances, that he might create in himself one new man in place of the two, an entirely new man. The early Christians were sometimes referred to as a third race. They were neither Jews nor were they Gentiles. They were radically different from anything that had previously been seen. God created the original humanity in Adam. That humanity is destined to pass away to destruction. God then created a new humanity within the world of the old humanity. That's what he's doing. So when Jesus says, you are in the world, but you are not of the world, what does he mean? Well, they're just normal human beings living a normal human life, but they are an entirely different entity. It's not something that they wear in a baseball cap that has a sign on the top of it. They are organically transformed by the regenerating power of God. And they are no longer what they once were, but they are a brand new entity. The promised seed, Genesis 3:15, Genesis 12, would be the context in humanity that would bring out the seed of Abraham, namely Jesus. So that in Jesus, not only would be as individuals a new creation, if any man is in Christ, he is a new creation, the old is gone, but all those new creations are being put together into an entirely new entity, a new man. And it is in that context that they then are partakers of the gospel, the promise of redemption, united with Christ. And the means by which that becomes a reality is the proclamation of the gospel. The proclamation of the gospel. How do people become Christians? They have the gospel told to them, proclaimed to them. In him, Ephesians 1, in him, when you heard the word of truth, the gospel of your salvation, and believed. You heard it, you believed it. Why? Because somebody proclaimed it. Can I give you a quote from John Murray, one of the finest Reformed theologians ever to come from Scotland and make his impact in America? Listen to this carefully, especially some of you who may struggle with the way in which you are proclaiming the gospel. The passion for missions is quenched when we lose sight of the grandeur of the evangel. It is a fact that many, persuaded as they rightly are of the particularism of the plan of salvation and of its various corollaries, have found it difficult to proclaim the full, free, and unrestricted overture of gospel grace. They have labored under inhibitions arising from fear that in doing so, they would impinge upon the sovereignty of God in his saving purpose and operations. The result is that though formerly assenting to the free offer of the gospel, they lack freedom in the presentation of its appeal and of its demand. I trust that that cap does not fit any one of us, and may we make sure that we don't go out into the community ever wearing such a cap.